Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, subscribes, and comments. I really appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to you to solicit for private readings. I do offer private readings, and if you are interested in signing up for one, the information about that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page. So, Pisces, I hope you guys are doing well. We are going to be doing your reading today with a tarot deck called Abstract Futures, which is really, really awesome. Beautiful, very conceptual, very interpretive deck. And we're sticking with Stacey DeMarco for right now, and the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle. I was just telling Cancer Collective that I've been feeling really, just really off kilter, really stressed out, anxious lately. I think it has to do with all of the million planets in retrograde, and you know, the blue moon, and you know, it's a Tuesday kind of thing. I don't know. It's just, my energy's been all over the place. So I'm assuming that some other water signs might be going through the same thing. So I hope that you find some useful information in this message. So I'm going to pull one card of energy for you from the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Okay. Well, the word is hell, but I don't think it's referring to that. And the card is number 6, acceptance. Acceptance. So you can see here, let me just turn on a little light. It's a little bit later in the day, so. Well, she's kind of got a gnarly skull face. And honestly, her dress looks like wilted lettuce. But we're gonna go with that. She's got a skull necklace too. I mean, it's very dark. And a skull hand here, or rather a skeleton hand here. So it's like two halves of the same entity. The number 6 in tarot represents the Lover's card, which in the major arcana, which is Gemini energy. My cat was just meowing outside, so I don't know if you heard him. The Lover's card can talk about a choice. It can talk about a relationship. Oh, wow. Pisces. So I went to shuffle the deck, and there was one card that was flipped around, and it is the 4 of Wands. So I'm going to take that as your first card. It very rarely happens to me, so that was meant to be. So 4 cards for your base spread, 4 cards for, oh wow, clarifier, and I'll pull more clarifiers if I feel like Spirit wants me to be a little more nosy. So, okay, one more. Okay, so right off the bat, I noticed that you don't have any major arcana, so you may be feeling very much in your day-to-day experience, you know, like having to deal with what is right in front of you, hence the word acceptance. It's kind of like seeing what the situation is and just breathing into it. I think we've had to all do a lot of that lately. In your past position, the 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands talks about, it can be referred to as the 11-11 card. Also twin flame energy, if that resonates for you, but also talking about kind of a solid foundation. You can see how each wand here is very beautifully and equally spaced. I'm actually noticing the background, or what could be perceived as the background energy, kind of slicing through like a piece of pizza, or like a pie chart, or an off ramp, or something like, you know, on an incline. So even though there was a firm footing in your past energy, that slight, I see it as a slight incline. It could have been slow and steady on your path to get there. It is clarified by the King of Swords, Gemini energy, sometimes referred to with Aquarius energy as well. King of Swords is somebody who's an expert, somebody who uses a lot of rationality to make decisions, who gathers all the information before they make a decision. So in your past energy, I see you really, really kind of putting all your ducks in a row. Like, you have been very smart about some decisions you've been making. I want to say you could have been a little prickly too, a little cold, a little defensive, perhaps. I don't usually read the King of Swords as a defensive king, but it feels, for me today, it feels a little defensive. Like, if you could have a million hands to push people away, then would be what that represents. You know, it's also kind of loosely reminding me of you know, that kind of religious, is it Ganesha? Please forgive me if I don't know exactly the kind of religious figure that has a lot of hands. So it's almost like, you remember that scene in The Matrix where Neo is trying to like dodge the bullets coming after him, and you can see it's like his hands are doing, he's like multi-phasing. He's like phasing in and out of reality. This is kind of what it reminds me of right now. It's like you've been phasing in and out of reality and trying to, it's like when you phase in, you like grab onto what you can and then you phase out again. It's like you come in and then you like disappear. All in the effort to create this stability. Feels a little tricky. I mean, how I read this color palette, like they all seem to kind of go together. So there's nothing out of place. So it's not like, I mean, I don't necessarily see it. It's almost like this is the other side of this. See the color palette's kind of similar. It's like Four of Wands in the upright. So maybe at one time it's like this was the energy that you were trying to get away from. This Four of Wands in reverse and instability. And in order to flip this card around and gain your firm foundation, you had to kind of do a little poking, do a little prodding, do a little insisting, you know, phasing in and out. I'm gonna pull another card because I want to know what that's about. Judgment card in reverse, Page of Wands in the upright, and okay, Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is a card of heavy burden, right? But again, in this depiction, it's everything is just so like beep boop 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 beep. I don't know why I just did that, like a cell phone. Beep boop 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 beep. Like kind of a, you know what it reminds me of? There's an artist, my favorite artist, like ever. Well, that's not true. Vermeer is my favorite artist, but my second favorite artist is a man named Joseph Cornell. And he made all of these kind of beautiful, just little, it's hard to describe them. They're like treasure boxes. Like he used found objects, found boxes and frames, and he created shadow boxes, and each one, there's several of them in the gallery near my home that every time I walk up to them, it's like I'm discovering something new, some kind of treasure. And that's what it reminds me of right now. It's kind of like, it's almost like you were grabbing everything. You could have just been information, gathering up all the information and then placing it so succinctly into its Excel spreadsheet or just some method of organization to try and make sense of all of this burden that you've been carrying. With the Page of Wands in the upright, here's that cutting across energy again. You see that? It's like that cutting across energy right through here. It's almost like, you know, you cut across and then it disperses into this energy. So it feels a little transformational. Like what might have seemed like one big impediment in your life, you kind of burst it wide open, and now they're just smaller issues as opposed to like one big issue. But with the Judgment card in reverse, Judgment card is a major arcana, and it talks about kind of answering the call of spirit, answering your life purpose call. This is in reverse right now. I was feeling the energy of you being very much in the material world. So spiritual concerns, I don't know, are super important to you right now. Like maybe you don't have time. You don't have time to sit there and pray and meditate and commune with nature. And it's not that you don't want to, but maybe you're just kind of having to deal with what's in front of you. Responsibilities of your bills, your family, trying to please everybody. I don't know where that came from. Trying to please everybody. You know, and just maybe feeling like you're wasting away a little bit. I hope that's not the case, because, I mean, in a sense, there's also magic raining down. There's like little sparkles, all these little white sparkles here. It's like magic is raining down. So it's almost like she's phasing in and out, just like that energy that I was describing in like the Matrix with Neo. She, I assume this is a she, I don't really know, but phasing in and out, and maybe just accepting that you're a work in progress, and you don't have to like constantly define yourself in one specific role. Like, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a business person, I'm a whatever you are. Whatever label you put on yourself, then you don't just have to be that one thing. Or maybe the label that you put on yourself you don't want to be anymore. You're trying to phase into something else. Because the Lover's card, it also talks about, the number 6, rather, it talks about following something that is a passion for you, right? So in the present, that's in the past energy. So in the present energy, you have the 5 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. So it's difficult. This is a card of difficulty, these two. This is a card of apathy, and this is a card of transition. 5s always represent transition in the tarot. So you may be seeing a lot of 5s. It's an in-between energy, and the 5 of Swords is kind of the card of winning at all costs. So it's a little sneaky. It's a little bit of sneaky energy. I'm still picking up on that. It's like sneaky energy. I think here, see, I see these as like dials, like a record player but turned upright, which doesn't make sense because records can't play like that. Or like CDs. Does anyone remember CDs? So it's kind of like these are CDs, and then like this is the sound system, and so it's kind of like broadcasting. So it's whatever the message that you are broadcasting right now, and that could also be in terms of your demeanor, like your body language. What are you broadcasting? What energy are you broadcasting right now? Because this can be this card of not seeing the 4th cup, the Ace of Cups from Spirit. Ace of Cups, you know, is a new gesture, a new offering from Spirit in love, because the Cups energy in the tarot is love and emotion and compassion and forgiveness and friendship and camaraderie and family. But it's this idea that you have 3 cups, and yeah, they may be full, and that's great. But there's a 4th cup that Spirit's trying to bring to you, and this card represents being unable to see it. You know, and if you're in this energy right now, that you're projecting something that might be, you know, again, it's kind of like that energy of like, I feel this energy of just like, keep your distance. Keep your distance. So if it could be a physical keep your distance, like you're kind of, you are keeping your physical distance, but then when people come up to you, it's just like you're projecting something that it's like a lot of, maybe there's like a lot of bells and whistles to what you're saying, but there's not, you know, you're trying to deflect, because the 5 of Swords is the card of okay, Spirit's giving me is like an example. So 2 kids on the playground, and one kid is bigger than the other kid. Now, obviously, I'm not condoning violence. This is just an example. One kid is like way bigger than the other kid, and they're about to duke it out, right? Like, he stole my lunch money or whatever. The smaller kid doesn't have a chance, right? So 2 kids trying to put up their dukes is not going to work. So the little kid has to be a little bit more inventive. And so instead of, all right, 1, 2, 3, we fight, it's just like before you even, that person, the bigger kid, gets a chance to throw a punch, the little kid's picking up a mound of dirt and just throwing it in their eye and running away, right? That's a very specific story, and it's a story based on something that happened to somebody that I knew. You have to take the advantage any way that you can get it. And the 5 of Swords represents that energy. So in a more refined sense, maybe we're not 2 kids on the playground, but we're 2 individuals in a very heated meeting. And you're bringing out something pretty spectacular that just catches everybody. It's just like flashy and catches everybody off guard, right? I don't know where this is coming from, Pisces, because usually, I mean, I don't know. I'm a Pisces moon, so I very much identified with Pisces, so I'm trying to figure out, wait, does this resonate with me? I don't know. Not feeling in a position of empowerment at this time, that resonates. So take it as it resonates, Pisces. Take it as it resonates. In the 3rd position, which is your future potential energy, you have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. The Queen of Swords in the reverse. So obviously a lot of Swords energy for you, which is your element. Why did I just say that? That's not your element. You're a water sign. Why did I just say which is your element? That must resonate with somebody. Maybe you have a air sign moon or an air sign rising. I don't know why I just said that. I said that very, very strongly too. Maybe you're an empath or a water sign that has had to play the card of super rationality and suppress your feelings because people wouldn't take you seriously otherwise. 4 of Swords in the reverse would suggest in the future energy waking up from something. Like, this is the card of rest and recuperation, and so it's kind of like you're having to I almost just imagine somebody just being jarred out of bed. Like, not necessarily waking up from a nightmare, but just oh crap, I'm late, or whatever it is, you know, like you're missing your alarm or something. So you like, or maybe you pressed snooze, and then 20 minutes later, it's like something in your internal brain clock just jarred you awake, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late for work. That kind of thing. There's something in your future energy. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's something in your future energy that's gonna like snap you right up. Clarified by the Queen of Swords. Okay, now I see this more as, even though this is an air sign card, I see this is like an intuitive jolt, because the Queen of Swords is typically somebody who demands truthfulness, demands information and truthfulness, and you to be square with her, straight with her, divine feminine. In the reverse, it's kind of like, in this case, it's kind of like, I mean, I almost hear somebody saying, I don't have time to wait for you to say what's on your mind. I have to act, I have to move, I have to do something. I have to think of another idea, I have to think of another plan, because you waited too long to tell me. Take it as it resonates. I don't know what it's about. Let me pull a little clarifier and ask Spirit. What's it about, Spirit? 2 cards came out. The 3 of Pentacles, the card of co-creation, and the 7 of Swords in reverse. Okay. 7 of Swords in the upright is very, very sneaky. Super sneaky. So this is on the up and up, this energy of just... 7 of Swords talks about, the original meaning of the card talks about somebody stealing swords from an opposing encampment. So if the swords energy, or if the tarot talks about like a battle, the 7, the one person is taking swords from the enemy camp and stealing them away so they won't be used against them. So in a sense, it can be seen as a card of preemptiveness, resourcefulness. So we could see it that way too. It is in the reverse though, so it's kind of like, I'm not trying to play games here, is what I just heard. I'm not trying to play games here. You know, I'm actually trying to work together. 3 of Pentacles. You know, you're throwing a lot at me. There's a lot of mechanics happening in this situation. And I'm trying like to keep track of everything. And I'm trying to work with you. But you're taking too long. And so I don't have time to wait. I have to move. So this is your future energy. Kind of like you taking charge and just making a decision. So, I mean, that could apply to a boss or a business partner or a romantic partner. Just like, I don't have time to wait for you anymore. It's very no nonsense energy. I just feel like, no, I don't have time. What's your advice from Spirit? The 8 of Wands in the upright. And the 6 of Swords. 8 of Wands is fast action, fast communication. It's almost like going back to this energy in your past, right? It's almost like, okay, thank you, Spirit. This was your past energy. This was a clarifier in your past energy. 10 of Wands, burden. And here the 8 of Wands shows up as advice from Spirit, almost as if to say, 6 of Swords, if you don't move on from this situation, you're going to end up in a situation like this again. You handled it the first time. What Spirit's asking you, did you learn? Did you learn? Typically the 8 of Wands is fast action, fast communication, just like really kind of blazing in. But I'm noticing this kind of round void behind. It seems like it's like a grate. You know, it's almost like a grate over a window to like, I was walking through a neighborhood the other day in the city, and I noticed it. I noticed the bars on the first floor windows. And I thought to myself, okay, it keeps the burglars out, but what if you need to get out? And because I've never lived in, I live on the 3rd floor of my apartment building. I don't live on the 1st for these kinds of reasons. I just don't do it. But, and so I'm assuming there's a way to open these grates from the inside, but I have no idea. And I had that conscious thought, and Spirit's bringing it back to me now. It's like putting up this wall to keep people out. But if you need to get out, how are you going to do it, right? It's kind of like it's a controlled chaos in a way. And Spirit is kind of guiding you to say, look, whatever the situation is, you need to move on from choppy waters to calm waters. Because what's beautiful about the color scheme here is that there's flow. I feel like there's flow. Getting back to this card, acceptance, like everything about her, it's kind of like she's suspended, and it's either the wind or water is kind of making her lettuce garment flowy. I'm gonna ask her for one more card of advice. Like, okay, how do we move on? We know we need to move on. How? 9 of Pentacles. Wow. 9 of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy. So much minor arcana cards here. All of this energy is in your control. Spirit, yes, Spirit is always with us, but this is a lot of your decision making, like everywhere, your decision making. And Spirit's allowing you that room. Okay, you have free will, make your decisions. 9 of Pentacles, pre-Empress energy. This is the card of independence, standing tall, abundant, beautiful, or handsome, or gorgeous, however you want to describe yourself. I almost see it's like standing tall, and like these half circles are a beautiful gown or regalia or royal adornments. So when you release this kind of trapped in energy and you start to go with the flow, you will embody this beautiful pre-Empress energy. Pre-Empress energy is also entrepreneurial. So if you have a side hustle, side business, an interest that garners you a lot of influence or connection with others, networking, they're asking you to remember to stand really tall, stand on your own 2 feet. You don't actually, where there's a lot of fraught energy with this co-creation, right? I don't know why I'm stuttering a lot. I'm actually stuttering a lot. I could be tired, I could be hungry, or this could be part of your energy. And Spirit is asking you to breathe, speak confidently, still yourself. Because now I'm thinking maybe I was talking too fast. Embody confidence. Embody a knowingness that you have all the expertise that is required. Perhaps that you don't need to rely so much on other people's approval to get ahead. We're not about stepping on other people, in the backs of other people, though. That's not good. But we are, because there is a lot of sneaky energy here, and I don't know if it's your energy or energy that's surrounding you, somebody in your life that's treating you this way. I would say to you very lovingly, and, as a Pisces moon, say very lovingly, like really beautifully, thoughtfully check yourself to make sure that you are not, because karma is swift. So there's, again, that word acceptance. If you're meeting resistance with someone or something, that's your #1 sign to veer away from it, because it's not your path. when we're in total alignment with who we are, it's just like, it's like the speed train in Japan, right? Like it's just like A to B. From A, our manifestation, to B, the reality of it coming true. So Pisces, that's your reading. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Please hit the bell notification if you would like to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Pisces.